Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account, and happy Easter to you and your family. Today's video we're going to be looking at the top 5, that is right, the top 5 awakened heroes within AFK Arena, because there has been a change, and of course the princess or the hero has been dethroned, and unfortunately the awakened version of Athalia is no longer the absolute top and tippy top, the pinnacle. The awakened version of Athalia, according to the tier list that's going to be coming out in a couple days, is Envy. Envy has taken the spot in the utility tier list, really being used in every single game mode. And I want to go through again the top 5. I also want to show you the build that is recommended on these top 5, because we know when it comes to damage dealers, the higher you build them, the better they're going to perform. So we're going to start right here in Envy. Now, this is number 1. This is the first one that you need to be building if you're newer to AFK Arena. If you're looking at building an awakened hero, this is going to be the one that you're going to build. Now, the optimal build, or where you want to get this hero, is a plus 40 signature item, which we have right here, allowing again to really amplify the damage through the skills, not only the abilities, but also the crit and the physical pierce we have in here. Furniture is going to take Envy to a 9 of 9 furniture. Absolutely a big priority to unlock, again, all of the skills and abilities. And then when it comes to engraving, it is going to be a 67. That is right. You can see right here, we did 68. So we went a little bit higher than that one. But when you start looking at the secondary skills with the engraving, you have physical pierce, which is going to be straight damage. You have accuracy, which this is the one that players skip. So if you're going to 67, it's going to be the physical pierce, it's going to be the crit, and then it is going to be the attack to take it all the way up to the 67. I added a little bit more accuracy. That, of course, PvP does make a big difference when you're running Envy in there. But again, this is still and now is the number 1 awakened hero. Also remember, though, we do have 4 additional awakened heroes that are going to be released in 2025. So we don't know what is coming down the pipeline. And that does slot into number 2, which is the awakened version of Athalia. Very, very close second when it comes to the awakened heroes. A lot of players do have her build, but she is starting to be subject to the power creep that we see within AFK Arena. Now, the optimal one, very similar in here, the plus 40 signature item, absolutely required with that 9 of 9 furniture. Again, unlocking those skills and abilities. When it comes to engraving, they want a 68. So again, when you think of this hero specifically, you're looking at adding in some crit. You're also going to do a secondary crit, the crit damage amplification, and then you're going to focus on building out the attack, which I believe is right here in the middle. So you're going to put 5 points into attack and then both of the crit, as well as that crit damage amplification. Now, one thing I did forget, let's hop back on Envy, is the collection. So a lot of players had a lot of questions of the collections and what you're using. So if you're running primary damage, that is going to be the Judgment Armor collection. And this is where it's interesting, because if you look at something like the Treasure Scramble, a lot of players are running the Sandstorm Fangs in there. Also seeing Athalia, again, depending on which collection that you do have built in there, is going to make a big difference based on what game mode you're running, which is the exact same thing for Athalia. Now, majority of times that we have Athalia, we are running the Shadow Dancer. This is the one that is going to do the most damage. When you look at the PvP aspect, that is where a lot of players are running the Temporal Cover. So again, it's going to make a big difference on what game mode you're running these in. A lot of players ask, what exactly should we build on these heroes? Depends on what game mode you're running them from. PvP looks a lot different. Like even looking at PvE, might behoove you to build, let's say, for a support champion or a support hero, building out Rowan's collection. If you're PvP, it's Tassie's collection all day. So it is very interesting. But again, Athalia does come in number 2. Number 3, we still do have the awakened version of Lyca. Very unique in what she does. Now in here, running this hero at a 40966. So a little bit lesser engraving, and I believe that might be where I have her at. Oh, that's right, I have her in 80. Never mind, but looking at the 66 again, focusing on the attack, and then when you look, you have crit, you have physical pierce, and you have crit. Building the physical pierce in here would be the 66 that you're adding in here. But going back again, plus 40 signature item, increases the attribute bonus of the star power. 9 of 9 furniture, just like everybody, and you'll see systematically that pretty much all of the heroes are using and do utilize the exact same build. And then in here, it is the Athalia collection, which is huge. Again, I don't think I've ever used Sandstorm Fang in here, but depending on what you're running it, depending on the game mode, Judgment Armor is really the only one that I have run on her. I have not seen the other one, even in the PvP aspect. We have not seen it. Moving on to number 4. Number 4 comes in with Zora. So Zora is a hero that has a lot of utility, which when we start looking at, one, there are some formations where she can do a maximum amount of damage. There are some formations where she is a secondary kind of damage. And there are also some formations where players are just running her for the SP effects. So it's very unique in how she is built. Now, looking at her, you'll notice that it is a much lower build. They do have 2 different optimal builds for this hero specifically. Coming in at number 4 for the Awaken, a plus 30 signature item, the 9 of 9 furniture, and an E60. I believe that is exactly where I did go ahead and build her. We have a plus 30 signature item. I have that 9 of 9 furniture on her. And then for the engraving, I think I did take her to a 68. So a little bit higher again, just based on maximizing some of the damage in there. But overall, taking her to 60. Now, the larger build or the secondary optimal build that they have here is a 40967. So again, taking that signature item to a plus 40, taking the engraving up a little bit higher up to that 67, ideally focusing again on the damage aspect that she does possess in here. And the final one in here, number 5 coming in is the Awakened version of Thoran. Now this one, guys, is one that a majority of players have been swapping for. We've seen a lot of swaps with Iran. We have also seen a lot of swaps with Thoran. Now, players that have swapped for Thoran have said absolutely zero regrets. Having this hero built out in the entirety has made a really big difference on the accounts. So looking at Thoran does require a plus 40 signature item. This is imperative to start the battle and go ahead and enter that Storm avatar right at the beginning of battle. Makes a big difference. 9 of 9 furniture, absolutely. Taking him to an E67, which I believe I take him to a 68. But again, 67, just really focusing on the attack. We have insight, and then we also do have haste and accuracy. Accuracy is the one that most players do absolutely skip. Haste, definitely number 1. Insight, you want to land exactly what he's doing in here. And then the attack attribute is the third one that we look at. So very interesting, guys, that out of the top 5 heroes that we see within the AFK arena, that's right, we have Athalia in here. We do have Zora, then we have Envy. So when you think of, 3 of the 5, they are Celestials and Hippos, of course, coming in a lot stronger. Then we do have Lyca and Thoran as the primary faction, which means when we get these other 4 Awakened heroes within the primary faction, we might see this list just shift a little bit more because we have some really strong ones. Even when you look at Shimiro, when you look at Iran, you look at Sophia, you look at a lot of like Lucius, they are very, very powerful when it comes to utility, and the Awakened heroes still seem to do incredibly well. So, all right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.